If I were to ask you, who do you think initiates divorces more in marriage, men or women? It's highly likely you may say men, but that is not true. Women actually initiate more than 70% of all divorces in marriage. And understanding how that happens and why that happens is really important for couples to talk about. Now remember, when you're talking about people who initiate divorces, partners who are unhappy in marriage, you're already talking about a marriage that's failing. But just because it's failing doesn't mean you can't get the grips, go to talk to a therapist before somebody acts out or something happens that the marriage really does have a serious issue, a betrayal of trust, whether it's finances, through cheating, whatever kind of betrayal it is. Those kinds of things are big impacts and they're hard to get over. But let's talk about why women initiate divorce. Well, the first thing to understand, according to lawyers, is women have a better support system. If they're in an unhappy relationship, women talk about it because relationships are very important to them. They talk to their sisters, to their brothers, to their parents. They talk sometimes to a spiritual leader, a priest or a reverend. And if after those visits or those connections, whatever those counsel them to do, it doesn't help, women often get very discouraged. But because they have that support system of close contacts, they feel more able to get out of a marriage and get back on their feet than men do. I want to go over the 3 major reasons that lawyers I work with tell me are the main reasons women get divorces. When they start really talking to them with a mediator, with a psychologist, this is what they come up with. The first thing you need to understand is that women take their time. If a woman has an affair, it's usually because she has fallen out of love with her partner. She's given up. And she usually, at that point, is going to either leave the marriage or she wants it to end. This is not true with men. The first reason women want to leave is women are more likely to be held back or feel held back in bad marriages. If a woman is giving, if she's working at home, working out of the home, bringing in as much as her partner, then she expects for equal opportunity. In homes where there's already a precedence for divorce, what you'll see is there's an inequality. She is doing more. And if she's doing more and there's nothing that's going to make that better, she will give up. You can push someone so far, but eventually they're just like, I can't take it anymore. Because what usually happens to women is they have a lot riding on keeping it together, especially if there are children. They will do anything not to break up their home. But when they begin experiencing psychological distress, they're overwhelmed, they feel stressed all the time, they're burnt out, they go to work, they can't think, they can't sleep, and their whole life is about giving, and there's nothing coming back from the partner. That is going to make her really reevaluate the marriage and possibly end it. Number 2, women take on more of the emotional burden. If you listen to this and you see yourself in this scenario many times when couples come in, the wife will tell me it's like pulling teeth to get him to open up, to get him to talk. If you're that guy or that husband, it's really time you start reevaluating how you're communicating. If women are carrying all the load, your emotional load of work, venting, stress, feeling incapable, feeling incompetent, she's got that on her shoulders, as well as children, whining, stressed, worried, getting bullied. And unless you help carry that, that's going to be huge on her shoulders. And as I said in the beginning, if she's feeling held back, she does all the chores, you're not helping with those chores, you're not doing your part, then she not only will have the emotional load, but she'll have the physical load. And that's too much. That will break anyone. And lastly, women no longer are going to tolerate consistently unacceptable behavior. If you go to work and you see, well, I bring home the paycheck and I'm faithful, guys, that is not enough. You have to give more. This is not the 1950s. Women have a real sense that they will make things work out because of their support system. And if you think you can just go to work, come home, and be waited on, not help with dinner, not help with baths, not help put kids to bed, but rather stay focused on what you want to do. Maybe it's getting ahead in your job, maybe it's gaming, maybe it's whatever you do, watching Netflix. That's not going to bode well in a long-term healthy relationship. It's important that you really reevaluate today. What am I giving this marriage? What am I doing? Am I offensive? Am I angry? Am I rude? Am I, I give my wife no emotional support. When she's crying, I'm like, oh, come on, don't start that. Or you're too sensitive. If any of these scenarios sound familiar to you, it's really time you do your part. We now know, marriage experts as well as myself, if two people want to make a marriage work, they can make it work, but it's not without sacrifices. It's not without personal changes. It's not without being selfless, continuing to serve your partner. So let's have a good sit-down talk today and get those marriages re-strengthened or rebooted, whatever your case may be. If this video is helpful for you, please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, I want to thank you so much.